Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are really getting into one of the hottest phones out there right now, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra.
Yep. We pulled together all the specs, the key details, and importantly, some of that early user feedback that's starting to come in.
Exactly. Our goal here is to give you the essentials. What makes this phone tick? What are its real strengths?
And maybe where are the potential sticking points. We're aiming to sort of unpack what really defines this as a flagship device for you.
Think of it as your quick guide to the S24 Ultra, the core stuff, what sets it apart without getting lost in the weeds. Sound good?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay, so first things first. The phone itself, when you pick it up, what's the immediate impression? The feel?
Well, it definitely feels premium, no question. You've got a grade 2 titanium frame.
Titanium, right.
Yeah, and Corning Gorilla Armor glass front and back.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty slim, 8.6 millimeter, weighs 232, maybe 233 grams, depending on the model.
Okay. And durability.
It's got that IP68 rating, so dust tight, and it can handle being in water like 1.5 meters for about 30 minutes. Pretty standard for flagships now, but good to have.
Definitely. Okay, from the build, let's talk visuals. The display is usually a Samsung highlight. How is it here?
Oh, it's stunning. It's a big 6.8-inch dynamic LTPO AMOLED 2X screen.
LTPO, so adaptive refresh rate.
Exactly, up to 120 hertz, nice and smooth. The resolution is sharp too, 1440 by 300 and 120 pixels. But what's really striking is the brightness.
How bright are we talking?
Peak brightness hits 2600 nits, which is incredibly bright, makes it super usable outdoors.
Wow, yeah.
And that Gorilla Armor glass, it has this DX anti-reflective coating. It genuinely cuts down on glare. You'll notice it.
Interesting. Okay, so beautiful display. What's powering everything? What's under the hood?
You're looking at the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, the latest and greatest, built on that 4mm process, so fast and efficient.
And RAM and storage.
Just solid 12 GB of RAM across the board, which is great. Storage options are 256 GB, 512 GB, or a full 1 TB, and it's all UFS 4.0.
UFS 4.0, meaning fast storage.
Super fast. Apps load quickly, files transfer fast, makes the whole phone feel really responsive.
Got it. Now, the part a lot of people wait for, the cameras, what's the setup like?
It's pretty comprehensive. A quad camera system on the back.
Wow.
The main sensor is that huge 200 MP wide lens. It's got OIS, optical image stabilization.
200 megapixels, wow.
And then there's a 10 MP telephoto lens for 3x optical zoom. And here's a key change, a 50 MP periscope telephoto.
50 MP, that's different from last year's 10X.
Exactly. This one offers 5x optical zoom, also with OIS. The idea is maybe better quality at that mid-range zoom, and of course a 12 MP ultra-wide.
And video capabilities.
It can shoot up to 8K video at 24 or 30 frames per second. Pretty high-end stuff. The front camera is a 12 MP shooter, dual-pixel PDF.
Okay, sounds like a very versatile system. Let's talk power. Battery life is always crucial.
For sure. It packs a 5,000 milliamp battery, standard size for a phone this big.
Charge.
Sports 45W wired charging. Samsung says that gets you about 65% in 30 minutes. There's also 15W wireless charging and 4.5W reverse wireless, for charging earbuds or a watch.
Right. Now, you mentioned user feedback earlier. Any concerns about battery?
Yeah, this is an interesting point. Official tests show really good active use scores, almost 14 hours. But we are seeing some early user reports specifically mentioning battery drain being maybe higher than expected.
So real world versus lab tests might differ.
It seems like it. Something to keep an eye on as more people use the phone day to day.
Good point. What about the software side? Android versions, special features?
It launched with Android 14 and Samsung's One UI 6.1. And a big plus, Samsung is promising up to 7 major Android version upgrades.
7 years. That's huge.
It really is. Feature-wise, the S Pen is still here, integrated, Bluetooth-enabled. Samsung DeX for that desktop experience is included. You've got UWB ultra-wideband support.
And those new AI features like Circle to Search.
Yeah, Circle to Search is a big part of the One UI 6.1 push, using AI for instant searching based on what's on your screen.
How about staying connected, Wi-Fi, 5G?
All the latest stuff. Full 5G support, obviously. It's got a Wi-Fi 7 readiness, Bluetooth 5.3, and NFC for payments and pairing. It's future-proofed in that sense.
Okay, so wrapping things up. If someone is considering the S24 Ultra, what's the quick summary? The core strength?
Well, you're definitely getting a top-tier package. The build quality is excellent. The display is really fantastic, especially with the anti-reflective coating. Performance is absolutely flagship level with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3.
And the camera.
Very versatile camera system. That high-res main sensor and the strong zoom options are definite highlights. And you can't forget the S Pen. if that's something you value. It's still pretty unique.
Right. And the main potential drawback or thing to consider?
I'd say it's that battery situation, the potential mismatch between the lab tests and some initial real-world user reports about drain. It's just something to be aware of.
Okay, so maybe a final thought to leave people with.
Yeah, I think it raises an interesting question. You had this phone packed with cutting-edge hardware, ambitious AI software, and that amazing long-term update promise. How do you weigh potentially slightly bumpy initial user experiences, like maybe with the battery, against that long-term potential and the sheer capability packed in? It's that classic early adopter versus waiting for refinements dilemma, I suppose.